I'm in a weird place right now. Looking forward to 2020 and looking ahead and seeing what's going to be coming down the pipe. I don't know. I was out walking the dog, had some thoughts. Thought I would share them. The channel is growing. Like I'm almost at 700,000 right now, and I keep talking about it's probably going to reach 1 million in the next year or so. That's the hope anyway. And something starts to happen when you get up to those kinds of numbers. You start to have a voice. You start to have a voice that carries and people pay attention to and maybe even take more seriously than you take yourself. And that kind of changes the way that you communicate. Like a lot of the jokes I used to tell publicly were a lot more scandalous than I would probably do right now, just because, those are the kind of things that end careers these days, This isn't something I ever really set out for. And I don't even know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. There's a part of me that is totally like, look, I'm lucky I have this voice now. Most people don't have a voice like this. I should, take advantage of that and do some positive in the world, If I were to sum myself up in one word, it would probably be storyteller. That's what drove me to be a screenwriter way back in the day. That's what drove me to love movies so much. Like, I'm interested in bringing emotions out of people. Creating characters that people fall in love with, putting them through the anguish of watching that character struggle, maybe even die, like I joke around that, like, I love to make people laugh, clearly, but I think I like making people cry more. Like, there's something much more satisfying about making people cry. When I went around to festivals with my film and we would screen at these film festivals, I would sit there and listen, and there are some sad moments, some teary moments in the movie, and sometimes people, you can hear them kind of, choking up in the theater, and that's just like all the laugh lines and all the people laughing in the different parts of the film. That feels good, but when people cry, man, that's when I'm like, yeah, like I really reached in and touched something, and that's what led me to screenwriting. That's what I want to do. And you might notice that none of that has to do with science. The science communicator thing was unexpected. A lot of you might be listening to me say this and say, like, how'd you wind up being a science communicator? You were trying to be a filmmaker and a storyteller. Well, it just kind of happened this way. My videos were never meant to have a message. I just wanted to pull at people's emotions and get people to universal truths and emotional truths. And it never had a message to it necessarily. I was never trying to affect the world in that way by spreading ideas or a message. It was just about touching people in a good way. And so I set out to do this channel just as a way to do some funny stuff, make people laugh, maybe talk about things that I think are interesting. And over time, what I personally believe in started to come out. My opinions became expressed. I am a person with opinions, and the science aspect of these videos started to perform a lot better. And over time, it just kind of evolved that way, and I became a science communicator of sorts. And I'm fine with that for the most part. But now I'm at a place where enough people are watching me and hearing my opinions on things and receiving the information that I'm putting out there. And I'm talking about things that probably shouldn't be controversial or political, but they have become so. And I'm getting to where my channel is big enough now that some people who disagree with me and what I have to say would see me as a threat. And I feel like 2020 is going to be the year when that starts to materialize a lot more. I'm really not looking forward to it, and I'm kind of dreading it, to be honest, because I'm not a controversial, or I'm not a confrontational kind of guy, although I'd have a great vocabulary. I've never been a great debater. I'm not somebody who's all that interested really in converting the other person that I'm talking to or making them look stupid or attacking them. If somebody disagrees with me, I'm much more apt to just kind of try to figure out why. What is it in their life and in their experience that leads them to think that way? that's all and that's reflected in my storytelling interest. I want to tell stories of people, how their lives were lived and how that affected who they became. That's the storytelling part of me. And so I'm not very good at debating people. I'm not very good at the high school drama that you see a lot around YouTube. And I have zero interest in it. But it's inevitable that at some point somebody's going to attack what I have to say about something. And people do it now on Twitter already. It happens all the time. And in the comments of all my videos. And those I just ignore because I'm really not interested in it. But at some point it's going to happen in such a big way that I will be forced to respond. I will just have to, or else I will clearly just look like I'm sitting around in denial or something. And I'm not looking forward to that. I feel like it's definitely going to happen. And I don't want to have to deal with that. I want to just keep making creative stuff and making people laugh and making people cry and telling universal truths and all that kind of stuff. That's still what I want to be, but now I'm somebody with a voice and I'm going to have to enter that world of that stuff. It's a really weird occupation, YouTubing. It's really weird how you can be so invisible to most people, but then to certain people, you're a celebrity. And that dichotomy is just so weird. I talk a lot about the first time that I ever screened a movie. It sold out. It was this big thing. It was one of the greatest nights of my life. Standing ovation, signing autographs. People were asking for my autograph. That had never happened before in my life. It was just this huge, huge deal. And then the next morning at 6 a.m., I was back at my job working at REI unloading a truck. And it was like there had never been a higher high and a lower low in such short order. But that's kind of what being a YouTuber is like. You have this voice and you have this authority that kind of just been given to you just because this is something you've done for a long time and has compounded to where you've got an audience now. All this is kind of thrust upon you and you can take it and run with it. And some people really run with it and it goes to their head and they become monsters. Or I guess you can shy away from it and just say, that's not who I am or what I want to do. And I don't know exactly where I fit there. Like there's a part of me that wants to just not react to any of it, just keep making my stuff and focus on telling stories, But I've also gotten to this point where, I'm being asked to speak on panels and I've definitely taken a very solid position on some things. And I'm going to have to defend them. Anyway. That's definitely one thing about being on this YouTube journey that I've been on. And I should probably do a video that really talks about all the different stages of being a YouTuber, because I'm definitely entering a new stage, or at least it feels like I'm entering a new stage. And the thing about each one of these stages is it's some place that you've never been before, and you kind of just have to figure it out when you get there. And that's what I'm doing right now. And I hope I'm doing a good job. And I appreciate all of you who are supporting me doing this. I hope I'm doing a good enough job of it. Anyway. Those are my thoughts for today. Catch you later.